All right, looks like we're getting some folks in the room here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the SCIP Town Hall. It's a brief 15-minute event here, so I'll go ahead and hand it off to Paul Santilli.
Thanks, Ava. Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Santilli. I'm the new SCIP leadership individual heading up the SCIP organization, and I wanted to take this time to inform you all of what's going on. I've been in this role now for a little over a month, and these town halls are something that I want to continuously do in a very short format, something that's very concise, and it provides an opportunity to let the membership community know what's happening, keep you informed as to the progress we're making and the advancements we're doing, and moreover to understand the betterment of what we're trying to do to our member community and sponsor community, the stakeholders and ecosystem. So it's time to talk about the vision and the roadmap, and also then about a short slide on IntelliCon 2023. So the commitments, first off, I wanted to share with the member community three major areas. And these are commitments that I have that I feel like absolutely important. They're part of the foundation, the core of the SCIP value prop. And I want to just reassure everybody that my commitment is still intact to the value, what I call our stakeholders, which is really around our membership community, our sponsorship community, the SCIP outreach individuals and the organizations that we have partnerships with and alliances with and things like that. So I want to make sure that as part of the SCIP community, have every intention of increasing the value to the membership community, providing more content and more value, more return on investment for your membership. This is an absolute core competency of mine for the SCIP community. I, as a member of SCIP, realized and being in that place before, I think is a very much of an important point, and it's dear to my heart to be able to do that. I want to broaden the portfolio for the sponsorship value, amount of value they get, as well as broaden the types of sponsorships that are out there. Because I think as part of this vision, we want to incorporate a larger populace into the SCIP umbrella and the SCIP ecosystem. So I want to offer more sponsorship and these for organizations out there. I want to have a greater breadth and impact to the intelligence community. This is definitely going to be the case as I walk through the roadmap plans with you shortly. Next, I want to have an increase of value to organizations. What I mean by that is SCIP is known to be an organization that brings in alliance partners. We do a lot of work with organizations in the academic and the enterprise space. Expand that into other areas of influence, primarily in the government sector, solution providers, and so forth and so on. So the alliances and partnerships is going to be a major focus area for SCIP moving forward. And it's really going to be on a global scale. This is really around intelligence and thought leadership, solution support, really understanding the global business organizational government needs around the data-driven intelligence methodologies, both in the competitive space, market, industry, and so forth. It's an overall value having tact for organizations as a whole. And then lastly, value to the community. And what I mean by that is really our expansion of our influence and what I call the intelligence ecosystem. So there's going to be, as I'll articulate in my roadmap, there's going to be a real focus area around social causes and using intelligence to drive a circular economy aspect. So using intelligence to really drive sustainability and those kinds of things too as a core element. So I call this little tagline I've indicated here, this intelligence consortium, because it's made up of many different organizations and partnerships really driving intelligence for the betterment of people and planet. And I think that really sums up the overall theme, so to speak, of what the objective is for SCIP as a whole. We want to use competitive intelligence and market intelligence and all of the intelligence content in our toolbox and use it for the betterment of people, organizations, countries, various academic circles and government circles for the betterment of people and for ability and social responsibility It's broad reaching, but I think there's a real opportunity for us to utilize this intelligence concept and make things better all the way around, growth wise, healthier wise, and all together sustainably speaking. Okay. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about our roadmap. So at the core of this roadmap, what I like to call the foundation or the cornerstone, is really all the great work that has been done by my predecessors and by the greater SCIP community as a whole over the years. SCIP, as you know, 35 years in existence, its mutations and what it's represented and so forth. And I want to utilize all the best of what we've had in the past and build off of it. It's not a replacement, or it's not going to be deleting content that's out there, because that would be removing the value prop to our stakeholders and to our members. And that is absolutely opposite of what I want to do. I want to build off of this and enrich this and make this more robust in its offering to our member community. So all the content that currently exists in the SCIP umbrella right now will definitely stay there and will be better. It will be made more enriched, as I like to call it. So I want to build off of that and elevate the value to what I like to call the SCIP stakeholder community, which means I'm going to elevate this to the executive C-suite leadership, the decision makers in organizations. This is a SCIP is going to be an activity or a consortium of thought leadership that I want executives to tell their people that they must go to, rather than the other way around, where people are trying to convince their execs that they have to go to. So by doing that, we're going to focus on those types of issues that are very on executives' minds. Things about how do we deal with COVID-type disruptions? How do I deal with understanding the use of data toward intelligence to drive a strategy for growth? How do I understand about using data and intelligence for digital transformation needs? Things of this nature, things that corporate C-suite type and struggling to try to get their understand how to better themselves to marketplace and really be able to handle driving growth through perpetual disruption, COVID, or whatever the case might be. And this is going to expand, as I said before, into enterprise and also the government sector. This is something that I think is very critical, especially in a lot of emerging countries. Through my travels, that I've noticed that a lot of these emerging countries are really trying to figure out how to use data and intelligence to improve the infrastructure of their water supplies, better sewage, better opportunities for growth and entrepreneurship and innovation. Those kinds of things I think as we expand our value prop, SCIP can be a contributor of knowledge into that sector. Thirdly, the modernization of the value prop, and I kind of already talked about this around data-driven decision making and around data first utilization toward intelligence and the digital transformation to drive innovation, entrepreneurship, and so forth and so on. This is in supplementation of all the core stuff that we have in our foundation, still much around CI and the tools and techniques around intelligence, but also we need to expand the envelope about how we bring the intelligence and really start driving and having the tools in place to drive the solutions on how to look at the data-driven intelligence ecosystem as a growth enabler. Fourthly, is the realization as an intelligence change agent. And this is when I talk about the sustainability and corporate social responsibility elements. Intelligence is a critical element that we can use to make the betterment of people and planet, right? These are things that I think that we really want to have as part of our core value prop as we expand our presence and our thought leadership and the consortium of intelligence providers to the community. And lastly, very importantly, I want to do this on a global basis. I think the need for the intelligence ecosystem on a global basis is something that organizations, countries are definitely looking for. Having a SCIP presence in what I call these global intelligence centers of ICE, and I spelled excellence wrong. Intelligence centers of excellence, ICE organizations, have a world that's made up of a consortium of intelligent thought leadership that's a SCIP activity that has content that's related to that specific geographic area, so it satisfies their needs. For example, the North American recipe around an ICE activity, ICE organization consortium, is not going to be the same recipe that's going to work in India or work in South Africa or work in Europe. So these ICE organizations need to be configured such that they are tailored to a greater population, a greater stakeholder community within those geographies, so they get the maximum benefit out of our intelligence thought leadership. And I have the vision of SCIP being the central hub for all of these things in these different countries. So there's a lot here, a lot to unpack, but as you can tell, what I'm super excited about is the fact that I think SCIP, in all my years of corporate America and all my years of working in intelligence and all my years of working with other intelligence organizations, I truly believe SCIP is in the best position possible to make these sorts of global influences and expand the intelligence ecosystem footprint to the world as a whole. I truly believe that, or else I wouldn't be in this position. So that's my roadmap summed up in a couple of slides in 11 minutes so far. But I want to take the last few minutes and just talk a little bit about IntelliCon. SCIP IntelliCon, as you know, it's coming up next month. You can see my banner over my head. This is my real estate that I use in my background all the time, which I think is valuable to share. But we have this IntelliCon event. If you're not already signed up, I highly recommend to do so. The topic here, the challenge of change, talking about tomorrow's future of intelligence, how we can get better suited to predict and prescribe outcomes that are more in line with business growth, especially around this post-COVID pandemic scenario that we've all had to live through. I have tons of content around organizations during the COVID experience, investing internally rather than externally. So this is a real opportunity to really look at how we can do this best. The workshop, or the IntelliCon, is made up of many different workshops in several days with 30 breakout sessions, learning labs, and panels. It's a tremendous opportunity. There'll be hundreds of people there, dozens of sponsors, and we have a snapshot of some of the people that have been lined up to provide that sort of value. So this is excellent stuff that I really want to share. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to go through my last slide very quickly, okay? So SCIP takeaways, what I want to ask in the community and on the phone here, and for the extended community to take away from this presentation, is really asking you to engage. Engage as a part of the SCIP ecosystem, utilize the SCIP resources, be a part of the network community, engage and be a part of this whole SCIP umbrella that I'm painting here for the SCIP future vision of SCIP. I want to encourage everyone to participate and encourage the thought leadership in your organization. See where there's areas that you can make a difference within your organization around intelligence thought leadership. Outreach, ask questions, provide feedback to the SCIP community about how we can provide more content and more value within your group. And then thirdly, increase your effectiveness by utilizing intelligence within your organization, and also be a valuable part of this, as I'm saying, this intelligence consortium for the betterment of people and planet. That's a very powerful statement, and I hope everyone goes away with the understanding of what that means and how SCIP can be a part of that, and how you can help drive that vision to reality and make an influence on the intelligence community globally as a whole. Okay, with that, that's the end of the presentation. Ava, I'll give it back to you if we have any questions.
Yeah, so if you have any questions for Paul, drop them in the chat and we'll make sure they get answered.
So we're up to about 15 minutes already. This is the amount of time I wanted to use. Obviously, this isn't the only time you can ask questions. You can certainly hit me up later through my email or LinkedIn. I think we do have a question that came up.
Oh, yep, in the Q&A. Are there any plans for university collaboration? I'd like to know about them.
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. I just had a phone call just before this call exactly around that. We plan on having I'm going to give you a sneak peek. We plan on having a European event this fall, and we'll have a university academic modules as part of that. That's part of the entire university outreach and academic outreach that I've been doing over the last several months. And to answer your question in a short way, absolutely yes. University academics are going to be a major part of the consortium. I think that's an integral part of the whole intelligence community. So I absolutely want to invest time and resource to that area.
Next question here, how will SCIP pivot to get membership involved in shaping the future of SCIP?
through your comments, through your feedback, through your expertise and contributions to the SCIP value prop. What I mean by that is sharing how you can be more involved in your intelligence community at your organization or whatever function that you have. Contribute content, provide more content to the repository of stuff that we already have. Add more tools in the SCIP toolbox, right? That's what it's all about. We want to provide value to you by sharing best practices and training and certifications and all those kinds of things, events, networking, the globalization of intelligence as a whole. Please contribute back in terms of adding value to the intelligence community, content, papers, asking us to be engaged in outreach areas in your community. These are things that I'm more than happy to participate in and take to as part of the core value of what SCIP can offer. Anything else?
Looks like that's all we got, unless anyone has any final questions here.
Okay, but again, this isn't the only opportunity to ask questions. Of course, I'm always available, email, LinkedIn, at the event, pull me aside. Hey, Paul, this makes sense. Paul, I have a question about this. I'm always available. Don't ever think that you can't reach out and ask a question. As difficult as the question can be or whatever, I don't care. Just ask me what's on your mind. All right, this is the way we encourage this consortium build up. And this is the way we are hopefully going to be able to build the intelligence populace throughout the world. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm hoping you guys can share that same passion in your everyday activities. Okay.
Looks like one last thing from Richard here, having a roundtable at SCIP to discuss your vision.
Roundtable at SCIP, you know what? That's something we can probably coordinate impromptu. It depends on, I'm not sure with the intelligence or greater member community, but let's share that idea with me offline. Let's talk about that in terms of who you're thinking should be members of the roundtable. If you want more of a global thing, it's going to be hard to manage, but I get your point. You're going to want to share some of this stuff. Hey, by the way, at IntelliCon, I plan on giving this presentation in a more robust fashion, a little more slides, a little more detail, to share this vision and to share this sort of new perspective I'm offering to the entire populace at IntelliCon. So this is something I definitely plan on incorporating into the event itself. Anything else?
Looks like that's it, except Richard typed a smiley face.
I'll take it. That's a good thing. Either that or yes. What I said made you laugh. Either way, I'm okay with it. All right.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for participating. Like I said, this is something I'm going to be doing frequently. The shortness is effective just because I want to get the message out and save everyone the time from getting overloaded on PowerPoint. So I'm available for questions. Feel free to reach out. And again, thank you for your membership and your participation. Okay. Have a great rest of your day.
Wonderful. Thanks, Paul.
Bye-bye now.